Okay, so welcome to day 5 of the 5-day challenge. Thanks to everyone that's just jumped on live. It's really nice to see, the same faces showing up each day, and also hi to everyone that's watching on the replay. There's heaps of you watching the replays, which is awesome. I think there's over 100 of you checking out the replays, so that's super cool. So thank you also for being here. Today is day 5, so day 5 of the 5-day challenge. Who's enjoyed this week so far? Who's enjoyed it? Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we've got a lot of nods around the room, which is great. I've absolutely loved it. I've just found that this round has just had such an awesome energy about it. So thank you. And I know that a lot of light bulb moments have gone off for many of you. Which is like, you guys haven't even really had a chance to talk and ask questions. You haven't even really had a chance to really get into the work. So, this is just such a small snippet of, what's in store for those that are joining us on the next one, or on the mastermind round. So thank you so much for all being here. Okay, Today's an exciting day because we're just talking about what is actually required to be on purpose. Now, as I go through this juicy little list, some of these things will be more relevant to you than others, and that's okay. Everybody's going to have different things that kind of pop out, and they go, "Oh, that's sort of what I'm doing or where I'm going." I won't say wrong. But yeah, this will give you some food for thought. Great list to have because it's something that you can kind of check off periodically from time to time. So I'm just going to get straight into it. On every other day, I've kind of recapped what this week's been about. But what I'm actually going to do today is I'm going to get stuck straight into the material, but then I'm going to leave time for those that actually are on the call live to ask me any questions that you have. I know that there has been some questions about values, but any questions that you have, today is your chance to actually have them answered. So as I'm going through this list, if there's anything that you can think of, just send it through the chat room, or just put your hand up at the end and let me know. So that's awesome. Oh, hi, Deb. Thanks for jumping on. I wasn't sure if we'd see you. I spoke to Deb yesterday. She's been so inspired by this week that her business that she's been trying to get up and running for years, she's been working 14 hours a day, and it is like it's launching. That is happening. So that's so cool. I'm so excited for you that's on its way. Okay, so the very first thing is that I just would love to share. Hey, Katana, thanks for jumping on. I'd just love to share that one of the things that really frustrates me and annoys me about the personal development industry is how so many of the people and the speakers that you see on stage will kind of like try and mystify what it takes to live on purpose. And, it comes back to this model here when I get people that are in marketing that see this model, they go, "Oh my God, this is amazing. This is great. I want to know more," because this also explains marketing. If we can create an infatuation or sort of really build the desire to avoid something and then provide a product that fulfills that, you've got a sale. Okay. So that's pretty, we understand that, but, it doesn't mean that we're not immune from, like still wanting to buy things. That's pretty common. But the thing is, it does this so that they can, sell you things. But I'm actually going to give this to you. So here we go. Have your pens ready. Okay, so the very first thing that you need to do in order to live a life that feels on purpose is the very first step is have a goal. Okay, you've got to have a goal. There has to be like an end result in mind, and it doesn't matter if it's a little goal or if it's a big goal, but without something to work towards, you're highly unlikely to see where your resistance is and where your blocks are. Okay, not highly unlikely, it's going to be almost impossible. Okay, because unless you're actually working towards something, because we all have this innate desire to expand and grow. Would you all agree that you do have a desire in you to expand and grow? We've all got it. We're born with it. It's your absolute birthright to have this desire. So a goal actually helps you do this. Okay, a goal helps you do this, because without a goal, we actually are still just operating on our default settings. And our default settings are often fight and flight based on belief systems and based on past traumas. Okay, a goal will help you recognize where they are so that you can actually do something about it. Okay, and by the way, you are not going to avoid challenges. I just want to, with this model here, like, challenge and support is always in perfect harmony. Okay, and if you think that you're going to get rid of that half and just live up that half, you're setting yourself up for a very, very like up and down unstable existence, because the more that you just seek like infatuation and you just seek support and you just seek things that feel good, you are going to attract challenges. And if you're doing that without a goal, oh my God, your life will feel chaotic and it will feel like an absolute mess. Okay, so I'm just going to, well, I'm not going to sugarcoat that one, obviously. You know, I kind of was a bit abrupt on that, but I think that it needs to be. I think that I kind of do need to be direct on that, because if I do sugarcoat that one, you probably won't hear it. In fact, you might not have heard it anyway. But a goal will help you get there. Okay. So and by the way, actually, this will be interesting. Have you ever noticed, like, and you'll probably notice this in friends more so than yourself, but have you ever noticed, like, the friends that kind of don't really have much direction with their life are the ones that tend to just attract chaos into their life? Like, that there's just constantly like a drama or something that's going on, and you think, like, how is this happening to you? Or you, as I'm saying this, you might even go, oh no, that's actually me. But on the flip side, have you ever noticed that when you do have a goal, or when friends or family, when they do have like something that they're really going for, that all of a sudden there tends to become order in their life? It's not that they're without challenges, it's just that they kind of maybe don't, you know, like there's a purpose. There's a purpose to getting through all of this. Okay, because that's what a goal does give us a sense of direction. The other thing as well, so step 2 is that you do really need to understand your values better than anything else, because if you have set a goal that's outside of your values, you're still going to be in that sort of, you know, like up and down state. You'll still sort of attract challenges. So number 2 is get to know your values better than anything, better than your best friend, better than your partner, better than your children, better than your dog, whatever it is. Like, you've got to know your values to ensure that what the goal that you've set is in alignment with that. Because also, when we know what our values are and when our challenges that are in alignment with our goal, and we can start to see life's challenges as being on the way instead of in the way, then, oh yeah, sorry, I've just got somebody. Actually, Claire, could you, oh no, who was on the last round? Chrissy, would you mind just messaging Mandy from the last round the link for today? Would that be okay? Because I'm going to be really is that all right? Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, so number 2 is knowing your values. You've got to know your values on this. Ensure that you're in alignment with that. Yeah, somebody's just, I'm just going to quickly, everyone. Okay. I think somebody, okay, cool. Yes, so have a goal, know your values. Okay, the third thing is to really align your beliefs so that they don't conflict with your values, okay? Like, to live a life that's on purpose. And it's not that you won't feel on purpose, but geez, that causes so much brain noise. Like the stories that we shared yesterday with Sophia, with the, you know, remember the story with Sophia, how she had the gun in her back? That was like, you know, such a beautiful example of when beliefs are in conflict with our values and with our goals. Clear them out. Like, there's no point letting them sit there. If they are getting in the way, they're just going to be a nuisance and they won't naturally resolve themselves. You know, there's this sort of, you know, thing that, you know, time heals. No, it actually, it gives you a bit of space and distance. It actually gives you the ability to actually, like, learn how to cope and manage, but it doesn't resolve things. Okay, like, when people say that, I just think, oh, it's like probably one of the biggest lies that we've been fed is that what time can do, it doesn't resolve things. Sometimes it can actually put some distance between us and an issue and allow us to naturally be able to see the other side. And if you can do that, then it's resolved the issue. But it's not the time in itself that's resolved the issue. It's your ability to have a bit of space. Like, And by the way, everything that we're doing here this week, if you guys had like another 50 years to live or another 100 years to live, you would naturally resolve all of these things, you know, because you would have a desire to want to find the other side. That is something that is innate within us. You know, we do have this desire to find our purpose. Like, everybody's got it. It's just for some people, they're actually acknowledging it. Other people are in a little bit more denial. But what this process does is it allows you to speed things up. Because I don't know about you, but, you know, I know that I don't have, you know, another 50 to 100 years to live. I wish that I did. So this is about maximizing your potential and taking advantage of every moment that you're given. That's what this enables you to do, so that you don't go, oh, I feel like I've wasted time. And it doesn't matter what you've done up until now. It's what you do from this point forward that actually counts. So certainly don't beat yourself up. You know, if that is you. I know that's been me in the past, when I felt like, you know, that as I started to wake up, it was like, oh, I've wasted so much time. Has anyone else had that thought this week? Okay, cool. So it's not just me. That's good. Don't beat yourself up. It's not what you've done up until this point. It's what you're going to do from this point forward that counts, okay? And sometimes we need the contrast in order to put a rocket up us so that we actually do move forward, you know, and do sort of stay on track. So that's it there. Okay, so that's the next step. Now, the very next step, which I think is number 4, is to discover and actually really refine the skill of learning out how to clear past stresses. You've got to go back into the past and clear them out. Okay, now this goes a little different to what some people will tell you. Some of the law of attraction, you know, gurus out there and that, they'll be like, no, you don't want to go back. You just want to stay present and you just want to imagine your future. However, what I have discovered with absolute certainty is that for the average person that's got a whole lot of baggage sitting in the background, that is really hard to do. Like, when you've got past issues just sitting there and that are unresolved, it's sitting in your subconscious and you're acting and reacting in accordance to those unresolved issues that are in the past. Get in there, clear them out. Like, clear them out. It's really hard to create a future when you're still firmly anchored to the past. In fact, I'd almost go as far to say it's near on impossible. Because when you're in that zone and there is past stuff sitting in the background, you know, it could be a traumatic divorce. It could be a bankruptcy. It could be, you know, getting fired from a job. It could be a childhood that, you know, that you had, you know, parents that were, you know, less than desirable. You know, it could be so many different things, but if there's anything sitting in your past that you go, if I could rewrite that, I absolutely would, please know that it still has power over you. Okay, like, it still has power over you. Please don't kid yourself on that one. Okay, so now, we haven't covered really how to clear out stress, because this is probably, like, if there is big things in the background, I'd love to be able to sit here and go, yeah, I can help you do that. Like, I can give you the tools, but the reality is that you'll need a facilitator. Like, you'll need me to actually help you through that, because if it's big stuff anyway. If it's small stuff, maybe not so much. But yeah, if it's big stuff, you generally do need somebody to actually facilitate you through that process. It's highly unlikely that you will be able to just go, oh yeah, what are the benefits, and kind of come to peace with that. That's just what I've discovered. In previous challenges, I have given people like the structure, but I know that you're not going to go and do it. So I'm not even going to bother with that, because it's a bit more complicated. Mainly because often we don't want to go back and we don't want to hold ourselves accountable, and we want to kind of sidestep it and say, yes, it's done. But if you've got someone sitting there in front of you asking you the questions to actually resolve these issues, there's a level of accountability, and there's also a level of certainty when you're working with me, that I know that there is another side to the challenge that was sitting in your past. Okay, so by the way, for those that are planning on going on to the next mastermind, I can see that there's actually a few of you here on today's call, and I'm sure that there's you know, the ones that are watching the replays. you do have a one-on-one consult with me, like where we can, you would actually be quite amazed at what we can do in a session. So we go back and we actually resolve whatever that past thing is that's holding you back in actually creating goals and moving forward. Okay, so the next thing is, in order to live a fulfilled life that feels on purpose to you, is actually just spending a little bit more time each day doing things that are in your highest values, and actually, that give you, that fulfill you. Okay, so knowing what your values is key here, because if you can just spend a little bit more time each day doing things that fulfill you, and that are inside, and what I mean by that, sorry, is that things that are inside your highest values, that's the key. Like, that is the key to fulfillment. If family is high in your values, spend a little bit more time doing things within your family that actually bring you that sense of like purpose, that sense of gratitude. Somebody, I think it was actually Julie, asked in the group last night, is socializing a value? Yes, absolutely. Socializing is a value. If that's what brings you fulfillment, then do it. Spend a little bit more time socializing. The quest to have social influence and social power. I mean, people have built careers out of this. People have built careers out of being influencers. It's a legit thing. Okay, so there are the 7 areas of life. Know which ones are your highest values. Now, the other thing that I just thought that was really important to clarify is, often what I do get as well is that I hear people say, oh, my highest value is connection. I actually get this quite a lot, and I noticed that somebody made a comment in the group today. I can't remember who it was, and it doesn't matter. It comes up often that people say, oh, my value is connection. I would like to know connection to what? Is it connection to animals? Is it connection to friends? Is it connection to your husband or your partner or your girlfriend? Is it connection to your sister or your mother? You've got to be really specific. And so this is the chance to actually go back to your goals from day one, I think it was day one, and actually go back and go, are they specific? I often see people do things like, oh yeah, one of my goals is to have savings. How much? How much? My goal is to have a successful business. What does that look like? One of the biggest challenges is having goals that are really too vague. If you achieved that, what would the result physically look like for you? That's what we want to know. What would that result physically look like for you? Okay, because that's what your goal needs to be, that detailed. Because having some savings in the bank will mean something different to you as it would something else. But also, like, when it comes to manifesting, like, has anyone ever ordered anything online? I'm always ordering books on Amazon. This is, for me, that's something that it's high in my values, which is learning. And I often order books on Amazon. And so when I order a book on Amazon, and if it's a book that I love, I will order a hard copy. Like, I won't just get it on Kindle. When I find the book that I want, I'm really specific. I don't just say, oh, I just want to order a book. I'm specific. I know specifically what that title is, the information that's in it. Like, I have a really clear vision. I don't just send an order out to Amazon that I want a book kind of on this area. Just let's see a lucky dip what comes back. They wouldn't know what to send me. I'm specific that I want a book on this. I search for it. I find the specific one that I want. I put my order in. And once I've put my order out to Amazon, I don't then go, oh, I wonder if they got it. I wonder, oh, did I do that right? Should I have ordered a different book? I'm like, no, I have certainty. And it's the same with the universe. Once you're in that manifestation stage, you don't go, oh, is it coming? Yes, of course it's coming. If you've put your order in and if you're working towards it and if you've taken action in that direction, then it's on its way. You don't need to second guess yourself. This is how the law of attraction works. And everything that I'm giving you here is a structure to be able to stay in that vibration. Because if you are able to actually just hold that vibration of the end result and bring it into the now, you will actually get everything that your heart's desires anyway. But that's pretty challenging. I mean, I've done it I've done a shitload of personal development work, and I even find that pretty hard. So for the, you know, for somebody that hasn't invested, but this give as much as what I have, I don't know of people that are just doing it without doing all of these steps first. You know, the people that I see that are really nailing it have actually committed to doing this work. Now the next thing is as well is subordinating to outside authorities. I want you to write this down, that when you do have any goals that are subordinating, if any of your values are kind of hazy, that subordinating to outside authorities will bring you into chaos. Now, the reason why this will undermine your purpose, anything that is going to put you into distress, not eustress, will undermine your ability to manifest. Now, the reason is because for manifesting, we actually need to open our awareness and be open to possibilities. Okay, because when you're manifesting, you just need to be open that wow, there's like a million ways that I could receive this, and be in like that receiving mode. The other thing as well is that you've got to actually be open to receiving. If there's any self-worth issues in there, that's going to be challenging as well. Okay, so if there's any self-worth issues, that will be challenging to receive, because when we have low self-worth, we tend to want to give, and we find it really hard to receive. Okay, so if you are somebody that finds it really hard to receive, or the second someone gives you something, you feel like, oh my God, I owe them. Like I've got to kind of, you know, we have a mental scorecard in our head, don't we? Of, you know, of what's, you know, of, hey, you know, I kind of feel like I owe that person. Being open to receiving, it sounds so simple, but geez, it's hard for so many people. So if that's you, don't go, oh no, that's me. Like that's a lot of people, you know, that is a lot of people. And we certainly will be covering that in the mastermind, because that ties into self-worth. But if you're not open to receiving, if your deserve level and your self-worth isn't at an all-time high, you can manifest it and you'll probably reject it. You won't even see that it's there. Okay, that's the other thing. And then the very last thing to live a life that's on purpose is to take ownership, is to wake up each and every day and know that nobody else in this world is committed to the fulfillment of your highest values. Not your partner, not your best friend, nobody on a consistent basis. It's up to you. Like, you've got to take the reins on this one. You really have to take the reins on this one. You know, that I think I mentioned it on day one, you know, that saying of, oh, if it's meant to be, it will happen. No, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Okay, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. No one else is going to do that for you. And actually, I can see Mandy. Mandy, you've just jumped on, so I'm actually just going to unmute you, because you and I had a. Can you?
Yes.
Yes,
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, cool. Because you and I had a chat yesterday, and so I actually invited Mandy to be on here today, just to share your experience of the mastermind. Because a lot of those things that I talked about, that was, you know, a lot of those things probably resonated with you in the very first week, didn't they?
Absolutely.
So would you mind just sort of just giving us a quick snapshot of your before and after?
Yeah, so the key things for me, what I got from the mastermind was, firstly, I just think you're amazing, Donna. But I think the key things for me, I've brought up in a family where goals are really important.
Yeah.
And I think from a young age, it was about goals and vision boards, and I think my idea of goals was actually more tasks than actual big picture goals. So I got really clear on what my intentions, my purpose, and what my goals were, rather than just, okay, I've got to do this, got to do that, and I've got a list a mile long, and thinking I'm never going to get to what I've got to get to because it's all task orientated. Yeah, so I think I just had clarity now around those clear goals. Yeah. Creating the vision board, which I've got right next to my desk. And coming from a visual, I need those things in front of me every day. And it wasn't until the other day that I looked to the board and said to my husband, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, let's start a new vision board. Because I was clear, and I wasn't clear before. So it's like I felt like I'd woken up from a dream.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
And I think the key, I lost my mum to cancer in late 2015, and she was diagnosed with cancer, and I found out with sort of terminal stage 4, that I didn't know that she would be passing within 3 weeks of her being told, or, of me finding out. And I guess I lost my sense of purpose after she passed. My first son was born that year, and I thought, what's the universe giving, why is this happening? So I did lose that, and I think I didn't realise until now where my key purpose was and where my passion was, which I think I lost. So I feel like I've got that back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, you can definitely see the transformation in you has been incredible. And so what has this all been like? What does this actually mean for you? What has this been worth to you?
It's been worth, I mean, I'd pay you, I mean, for coaches, 10,000, a lot of coaches out there. And I think for what I've gained from yourself, Donna, it's like my business has grown. We've got better work-life balance. I've got more time with my kids. We've been able to evaluate everything in our life, not just personal work. Yeah. Across all areas. And I guess it's like you don't see it. It's not clear. All of a sudden you have clarity and all those other doors open. And I mean, friends and family have noticed the difference, and I think I'm inspiring them. And it's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So, I mean, and you jumped on, it's funny that you've jumped on just as I've gone through that checklist. You actually feel like when I don't know if you caught the beginning of it. I think you just caught the end of it.
Yeah.
Does it feel like, do you actually feel like on a day-to-day basis like you are living on purpose now, or what?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I just went to the gym before and I was listening to audios, and actually one of the ladies came up to me and said, God, I've been noticing you a lot more here. How's work going? I said, it's really busy. She said, oh, that's great, because everyone says I'm too busy to go to the gym.
Yeah.
But it's just putting life in perspective and setting time for yourself first. Better mum, better business person, and and just I guess it's just having a calmness about yourself.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. I'm not so like living in, you feel like it's Russian woman syndrome. You're just running from here to there to this to that, and just being comfortable and taking one step at a time, and everything's quite clear now. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. No, I'm
and it's I can't thank you enough, Donna. So I just think what you do is amazing. You've got it's something I can't explain what you do, but you've got a natural gift. And I think with the first week you took me through that exercise of dealing with blocks, when you did the alignment of is it the left and right?
we're like getting your left and right brain to talk to each other.
Yeah. And that I noticed the difference just straight after that.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
thank you very much.
Oh yeah, my absolute pleasure. I've loved working with you, and thanks for jumping on. I really appreciate you sharing that with everyone. Yeah.
No problem at all. Enjoy, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mandy. Cheers. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So what's next? And Chrissy, actually, you were on the last one as well, and I know that I loved the post that you put into the group the other day. It sounds like I'm looking forward to catching up with you is it next week or the week after, to see how things are going. It feels like a lot of things have fallen into place for you all of a sudden. Sorry, is that Mandy, are you taking off, or did you want to talk? Yeah. Okay, no worries. Thanks, Mandy. Okay, awesome. So it was before we go and before I give you today's challenge, there was one last thing that I wanted to share with you, which was which really just came down. Yesterday I was at uni. I'm doing the most amazing unit at the moment that's all about perception and the way that we perceive the world. Which of course I find really interesting. I also find it quite interesting that they don't mention axiology, which is the study of values. and they certainly don't mention teleology, which is the study of meaning and purpose. Really, I think modern psychology would really benefit from incorporating those two things really strongly in the curriculum. But that's aside. That's just my little rant. But one of the things that we were discussing yesterday was all about how we remember and how we learn things and how we actually integrate things, so that they don't just pass through us. And I felt that this was really relevant, because I know as you guys are watching this 5-day webinar series and this 5-day challenge, is that a lot of this, it goes in so easily because you already know that you know it. Like on some level, I already know that you guys know this, because it's almost like when we hear the truth, it just resonates with us. Okay, like would that be true for everyone sitting here? That it's like, yeah, this all sounds familiar. This is like, yeah, of course that's the way the world is. You kind of don't question it because it just seems so logical and so natural. And this was interesting that I had this lecture yesterday, because they were talking about, like, we know this stuff. You guys know this stuff, okay? But my question to you is, if you already knew it, why are we not living in accordance with this? Okay, because there's also another side, and that is the side that's learnt to behave in a particular way, that's learnt to think in a particular way. And even though you know this to be truth, and you know that this is a solid path to get you where you would love to go, there's also a lot of unlearning that needs to be done, and a lot of relearning about, a new way of actually showing up into the world. And that is why, with absolute certainty, the only way you're going to get there is by having a goal and then continuously working at these things. And if it feels easy, you're probably not doing it right. Okay, like that's the truth. It takes effort. It takes effort to move across to this, to this way of being, to live a life that's on purpose. If you've kind of just floated around the ether for so many years or decades, or however long that it's been. So that's, I guess, my disclaimer. Probably should have put that at the beginning of the series, but anyway, at least I've put it in. It does take effort. It does take challenge. And a goal is what will actually allow you to recognize where the blocks are, but also restabilize. That's the other thing. Like, a goal is going to actually allow you to restabilize, because resilience, like really everything that we've talked about here, is building resilience. It's the ability to adapt in an ever-changing world. And realistically, most people don't do that super well. When a challenge comes, often it floors us. But this what I've handed you here this week, and certainly what I'm delivering in the mastermind program, is the ability to actually take life's challenges and actually overcome them with a goal in mind. Now, the other thing as well, when it comes to learning, so what we learned yesterday was that if it goes in easy, it means sometimes it's like an illusion that our brain plays on us, because we go, oh yeah, we know this, but it doesn't mean that we can actually necessarily apply it or remember it, or even articulate it to somebody else. So in order to really learn, and to really start embodying this, this way of life, what's required is to not only practice it through actions, through the way that you're showing up, practice it through accountability, practicing it through asking questions and actually getting feedback. Because with this program, I've done it over 5 days, so that you've actually got time to stop and integrate and go, oh yeah, that's how that works, and come back and ask questions and post into the group. The reason why my mastermind program doesn't just run over a weekend workshop, who here has ever done a weekend workshop and gone, oh, that was amazing and life-changing, and then like a few weeks later you're kind of back to your old self? It's because what's actually required for change is not just a quick brain dump and transformation. What's actually required is the opportunity to integrate it over a period of time, with support, with actually challenges and the ability to overcome them. And so that is why I've created the mastermind program and not a weekend workshop. I can assure you a weekend workshop would actually be far easier for me, but I'm not about making things easy. I'm about you guys actually getting this, because it's far too important. I actually can't think of anything more meaningful to do with your life than to help other people find the meaning and purpose, because I know what it's like when you don't have it, and it sucks. So tonight's challenge tonight's challenge, there's two parts to tonight's challenge. The first thing is I would absolutely appreciate it so much if you could post into the group the insights and what you've actually learned from this week. That's actually for my benefit. I've given you guys a lot this week. Would you agree? Give something back. Share with me what you've actually learned. I would really love and appreciate that so much. That would mean so much to me. The second challenge is to actually, I want you to actually do some journaling in your notebook and just tap into what it is right now that you're grateful for. What is it in your life that you're grateful for? Because the power of gratitude and everything that we've done here this week ultimately is to get you to this goal, soul's purpose. And when you're in that soul's purpose, the moments of gratitude that you will have, it's like they just come in waves. They just start coming in waves. And you will have more and more of those moments as you'll get feedback from the universe to know that you're on track with your purpose, because the waves of gratitude will come thick and fast. And that is a great spot to live from. So with that in mind, I really appreciate all the support that I've had from everyone this week, from those that have showed up, those that are watching the replays, to those that have shared this out with their friends, to those that have shared this into their groups. It really does mean so much to me. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey, because this is the final 5-day challenge that I'm running. So I'm like, oh, it's been such a lovely week. I'm kind of questioning that, but not really, because there's something even more amazing in store for everyone. So thank you so much for being here this week on this journey with me. I'm really looking forward to working and really helping the people that do choose to take the next step, to actually back themselves and to put some skin in the game. Like, let's do this. So the ones that are planning on moving on to the mastermind, I'm so excited. This is by far going to be the best mastermind group that I've ever run. I've got so much good stuff in store for you guys, and also so many more opportunities to actually learn and integrate, because that's what this is about. If you can change those habits, and if you can start learning and integrating, that's that is the key. And then once you have this, you have it for life. It doesn't go away. So thanks, Katana. I've loved having you guys on. It's been great to see some familiar faces with Chrissy and Katana, even Crystal. Crystal's an old client of mine, which I haven't seen you for a little while. It's been lovely to see you. And yeah, Claire was not on the last round, but a couple of rounds ago. So thanks everyone for being here. And I do hope that you trust your intuition, if it is the right time for you to step forward and back yourself, and let's do this. Exciting times. Thank you so much, everyone. I've loved having you all here. Thank you.
Hey, Donna. I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Can I just ask a little more about the mastermind?
Yes. Is there something specifically that you'd like to know, or do you want me just to tell you a bit about it?
A few specific things. Date, as in commencement, and how long? So
we get started on the week of the 3rd of September. The group calls start the following week. So the first week is the 3rd of September, and then and so what I will do is inside the group, that's when we'll be getting all the housekeeping done. So I will start to post up the first lessons so that you've actually got some homework. We'll be working out schedules that suit everyone. So regardless of what time zone you're in, everyone will be accommodated. Like even if we have to sort of alternate call schedules, alternate weeks. So that's when we work out those logistics. And then on the week after the 3rd, that's when we start the group calls, and the whole program goes for 11 weeks. On the very final week is when Amanda, the relationships coach, joins us. She joins us towards the very end, either the last week or the second last week. And all of the replays are uploaded into the private secret Facebook group, so that you've got access to not only the coaching calls, but you've got access to the replays. So that, because would you all agree, when you've actually watched like Leslie, Kathy, Jennifer, would you agree that when you actually watched that was often more valuable than actually me talking? Yeah. so there's less of me talking. Like, there's lessons that are pre-recorded so you can access them, but it's more about you. It's more about you guys and resolving your particular blocks, whatever they are that week. And it doesn't need to be specific to what that week's lesson is. It's just what's going on. How do we get you out the other side? And if you're doing that on a weekly basis, that's actually really powerful. Yeah. Yeah. And is there anything else that you'd like to know about it?
No, I've got the 3 months, so it's pretty well 3 months. And when we do housekeeping, you'll nominate which day of the week then, will we?
That's when during the first week, that's where I'm sort of still, everyone's in the group. That's when we're working out the call times. I'm also working out buddies, because I'm going to give you an accountability partner each as well. And part of that is what I'd already set this in stone, but yesterday when I was sitting in this lecture, I was like, oh, I'm so glad that I'm actually doing this, because what that actually does is gives you the opportunity to actually kind of just, it's almost like a little, your own personal sort of study group, and it doesn't need to take long, 15-minute catch up with someone once a week, just over the phone or via Skype, just to say, hey, is there anything that you're stuck on? Is there anything that I can help you with? Is there anything that you're kind of not sure of? Because our ability to kind of help others really does help us understand this a lot better than just sort of thinking, oh yeah, I've heard it. Yeah.
Okay, good. That's covered all that. And one more quick question. You did talk about you're coming to Melbourne to help Dr. John at an event. Is that in December or is that sooner?
Oh, no, I went to, that must have been in an older video, because I did that last month. No, I often do fly over east. I think next time he comes, Leslie, are you in Perth or are you in Melbourne?
No, I'm in Tasmania. I'm in the little island down
in Tasmania. That's right. Yeah, the Tassie Devil, of course.
Yeah, I'm the Tassie Devil. Don't forget her.
No, I don't know when I will be going and helping out at his next event. There's not. Certainly won't be this year, because I've only just come back 3 weeks ago from Melbourne when he did the last breakthrough. But look, I invested, like my learning and growth. I invest a lot into this. This isn't just something that I've done a couple of weekend workshops. I think I've invested almost 300,000 in my education, and the hours that go with that is phenomenal. They say to master something that you have to invest 10,000 hours in it. It's like, I've done that. So my next personal learning is doing Joe Dispenza's advanced workshop on the Sunshine Coast. That's coming up in October, and then we'll wait and see. I think John's in Perth, and then I'll probably go to maybe Melbourne or Sydney mid next year. Yeah.
Yeah, and Joe's in Melbourne just before he goes to Brisbane.
Oh, okay, so lovely.
Lots of opportunities. Thank you very much. You've answered all of that.
You're so welcome. Okay. So anyone that does want to, that has any questions that maybe they didn't want to talk about here today, or even is watching on the replay, the replays will be up for the next week. I'm not in a hurry to pull these down. So jump on if you've got any questions about the mastermind. Get in contact. Flick me an email, or let's organise a time to chat. So does anyone else have any questions about anything? No. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. I've really enjoyed our time together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Donna.
See ya. Bye.